Hell yeah.
Well,
Ooh,
looks
we
like we are on
live.
Facebook Live already, Narhee. How about
Yep.
that?
I know. That was a nice transition there.
That's right. This is Escrow Tuesday. Charles Swanberg here with my co-host Narhee Nguyen. How are you doing, Narhee?
Doing fabulous. It's Tuesday.
And this is episode 30. Imagine we've done 29 already. You know.
I know. And who do we have on 30?
We have Bowie from Miami.
Hi, everyone.
I got to get back to Miami. You know, Miami rice. That's what it's all about, right? I still have all my outfits from the 80s. You know, I sold the white Lamborghini long ago, but you know, I still had the white shirt with the the mauve kind of t-shirt and no socks and the shoes. All right. Wow. So 80s, right? Anyway, Bowie, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, of course. An upcoming leader.
So honored.
A lot of great women
and
leaders.
on 30 too. So
I know, the big 3-0.
Oh, really? So 30 on 30 kind of thing? For me, it would be 60 on. No, let's not go there.
No.
All right. Yeah. Hey, so Bowie, so tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll get to the real estate and how you found Aria later, but yeah.
Sure. So I was born and raised in Florida, and I was actually born in Hollywood, Florida.
There you go, Hollywood.
Yeah, we're both in Hollywood.
What's your dream? Hollywood.
Oh. And then I was raised in North Palm Beach, where I went to grade school, and then I went to Gainesville for college. So the University of Florida, go Gators. And then I came back to Hollywood after I graduated, worked at the casino as a casino host, which is, by the way, the most fun job ever.
Ooh, with the most craziest hours.
It's fun though. It's like when you're young and you just got out of college and you're just hanging out and you get to wine and dine the clients and keep them hooked on at the casino, and it's just you make a lot of new friends and it's fun. That was
there should be a job list of all the cool jobs you should have before you settle and get a maybe a real job or something, like teaching English overseas, being a cruise director, doing all these fun things. I mean, instead of working for the newspaper or something, I mean, wow.
Going straight into accounting. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so that's the most fun job. And then I got promoted to special events and promotions manager.
Wow.
That was also fun, but not as fun as casino host. But then I met my husband, and my dad was going through some health issues, and that's when I decided to get my real estate license. Sold my house there and then moved to Miami. And I saw a lot of opportunities in Miami and a lot of growth here. So I decided I want to be a part of it. So that was basically my, I guess, gradual life story in a few minutes. Yeah.
That sounds exciting though, because you go from casino to real estate. I don't see how does that all happen? Is it just something you studied or your friends' influence?
I guess growing up in Florida, if you're a local here in Florida and in 10 years ago, let's say 10 or 15 years ago, you would never think Miami is full of high rises, full of buildings, full of growth. There was the port. And then there was the port. So it was just the port and not so safe areas. Right. So, now when you look at it, there's buildings, there's growth. It's like a little kind of like New York. You got a city vibe, and you never had that as someone growing up in Florida. So seeing that was exciting to me.
Okay.
Well, you got your buddy Dick Lee on. How did Dick Lee find you? Do you know Dick Lee? Yeah. And, Romina Chen is also watching. So hi, Dick Lee. Thanks for joining us. In case you are just joining us on Facebook Live here, we have Bowie from Miami chapter, and I didn't want to butcher her last name because it's Olive with her IRA.
Oliveira.
Oliveira.
Beta.
Oliveira. Obrigado. That's about as Portuguese as I get. So anyway,
Oh my goodness.
so you got into this real estate thing, and you know, a lot of people have reasons, right? Mine was, oh, I could do that. You know, the agent that was representing me was like, no, I can do that. But you know, we get involved in these businesses, and you're like, you know, I'm doing pretty good here, and I want to maybe get some more exposure, but I want to give back and kind of get involved with something, right? So everyone kind of has a story. So how did you like find Aria, or did Aria find you?
So I guess it was more like a mutual attraction, right? So,
Ooh, I like
um,
that.
I know, that's a
So
first. Ooh,
Aria
I
didn't play,
like.
so you didn't play hard to get, like, you know, someone's like going, come on, Bowie, join
no, I
what?
saw it and I was
I
like,
don't
"Oh,
know.
interesting. Let me go at it." And same thing. And I think it was my office manager at the time, Jim, who um, I just joined Surveyor Real Estate, and he was like, "Hey, you should join this organization." Um, I was the only, I think me and like probably another person, we were like the only Asian people. So he was like, yeah, you should join this, organization. Go for it. And I didn't know anyone at the chapter level at all. Um,
Wow.
at the time, I was still very new. And so I was like, okay, sure. So there was a convention in Las Vegas. And of course, coming from the casino background, I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, I'm
And I
there.
had a friend there. So I went, I met, a few people, and
Mhm.
it was pretty cool. So I got along. And then once I came back to Miami, I started getting more involved, at least with the events and saying, hey, so that was cool in Las Vegas. What's here in Miami?
All
And how
right.
can I get involved? So I was involved for a few years, attending events, as a member. And then I met Dick and Tom. And of course, that's where Dick Lee basically, he's, a friend, a mentor, and pushing me to take a leadership role, and I was like, no, I don't want to do it. Like, I'm busy. I mean, it's so much work. And but Dick and Tom are pretty inspirational people.
They
Mhm.
are indeed. And not
Yeah.
only that, Sunny Chan from San Francisco is watching and saying hello. And he used to actually live in Florida. So he's asking where you live. Uh, he said he used to live in North Beach, North Miami Beach. That's pretty interesting.
In North
Mr.
Miami Beach or North Palm Beach?
He says live in North Miami Beach. Oh yeah, so he didn't get your where you were living. So anyway, that's
Oh,
it, Sonny. You're gonna have to PM her or DM her later.
no, now I live in downtown Miami now,
Okay,
which is right
downtown.
across from the American Airlines Arena,
Oh wow, that's
where the
so
Heat
cool.
play. So go Heat.
All right, so Dick Lee and Tom, the instigators, are telling you, hey, join this chapter. I mean, you mentioned you knew Jesse Otley. It was great. I remember one of my most favorite events, national-wise of ARIA, was the GLS in Miami in 2017. It was my first major event. I hadn't even been installed as chapter president at that point, but I'm like, oh, I better go. And it was just amazing. It felt like actually a national convention. It was like that big, but I couldn't believe all the developments going out, and people going, yeah, you can pick that up for a couple $100,000. I'm like, huh? You know, I imagine things have changed, and I imagine, at that time, I think all the brochures that I was collecting were half of them were in Mandarin. It's amazing. So yeah, that was just amazing, and in seeing all
Wow.
of that. So, um, but I have a funny story on an Uber coming back. It was me and Amy Lee taking an Uber, and I asked something to Amy Lee, and Amy Lee answered, and the Uber driver turns around. I think he was Cuban. He goes, "Wow, why is your English so good?" And that was the whole inside joke for the whole weekend. It was like every time Amy said something, like, "Gosh, your English is so good, Amy." And it's just,
That's
they
funny
never seen
because,
Asian people speak perfect English. I don't know. It was just
well,
hilarious.
it's funny that you got an Uber driver that spoke English.
Well,
Oh.
barely.
Because they all speak Spanish here.
Right. It was from Cuban, and he was doing a little pointing, but he just was kind of amazed that he heard,
Like,
wow.
wow,
Yeah, that was
So have you picked up some Spanish, Bowie?
un poquito.
Un poquito.
un
Yeah,
poquito.
That's good. That's good.
I can get around, but that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are a lot of like, like Carmen Chong and a few people that have South American or Central American, backgrounds, even though they're Asian. I mean, there are more people in Japan, in Brazil than there are anywhere else in the world, which is kind of surprising. So they're just not all in the, everyone thinks, all the Asian cultures are just in the US, but all over the world. It's quite amazing. All right. So, yeah. So you're kind of going to these events, you join the board, but from joining the board to becoming chapter president, how many chapter presidents are there only every year, Narhee?
42,
Right.
41
So
to
you are
42.
42 out of 17,000. What's the math on that? That's got to be 0.00001% that actually become a chapter president. So who is the person that, my little guy here has been ODing on the Aria Kool-Aid. Who was it? Oops.
Oh, whoa.
Oh,
What'd you
wow.
get?
Okay.
Whoa,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's a
Sorry,
really,
my friend sent us Rocky Mountain.
that's some Kool-Aid, huh, Bowie?
Sorry.
Now I
Sorry,
see you're having fun over there.
CBD here, CBDT. Well, anyway, no wonder it works so well. Huh?
No, that's why you've never left and can't leave.
That explains it, right? So when did somebody sit you down or have a 3-hour phone conversation that lasted till 2 a.m. to say, Bowie, we need you, you have to be the president? Who did that?
It's funny because it's not actually, the person I'm going to name is not actually from the Miami chapter.
Okay.
But he's from Boston. It's Dick Lee. Yeah. So anytime I have questions,
thank you, Dick Lee.
Yeah, anytime I have questions, he's always like my sounding board, like, hey, this is happening with our chapter.
That's how you ended up on the BTS Call, right? With Dick Lee supporting him when he was treasurer.
Yes, I was secretary at the time.
Oh, there you go.
And I was so lost. I was like, hey, what do we do? So there was an opening for presidency for the chapter, and I was torn. I was like, I think I'm just gonna give up and just I'm just gonna not be as involved anymore with Aria.
Right. But then suddenly
that the Kool-Aid came. And I saw it was a great opportunity. It was a good time with everything that's going on with the world. And somebody had to do it. So
well, you've got Han, our policy chair, watching, and of course Don Pingaro is on. Always.
Hello, Donnie.
Hi, one of these days he's maybe going to step up and do it, right? Come on, Donnie.
Yeah, eventually it's got to happen.
Yeah, maybe Bowie, you will have to make him drink the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
I mean, he's probably OD'd on the Kool-Aid many times over. Maybe he needs a different strain. Maybe he needs an edible Kool-Aid.
His blood. It's running through his blood.
Different thing, right?
So on this show, we always have our special guests, tell us a story, because if we all are from the same industry with the real estate and with commercial or residential, and then now the Aria, we all have different stories. And there's always that one particular story that always stands out that we always like to hear about in your real estate career. So now it's your turn, Bowie, to share.
Right. So I know anything and everything can happen. Right?
My goodness, you've been watching. She took my words.
Because it just does.
Yes, it does.
So I've been lucky. So with sales, I've been lucky in terms of like escrow, right? But I think it's with the leases. The leases are a little bit crazier stories. But not too crazy for me, right? But I did have a tenant. I was representing the tenant that moved into a warehouse space, and the building was condemned like 3 months later and said, "Hey, you guys have to leave." And it was like, "Wait, what?" And they had just signed the lease and everything, got everything moved in, and so that wasn't too fun. So that was probably I guess, the craziest story that I've had in terms of real estate transactions.
Well, I'm sure you
Huh.
left out the part that the reason why they condemned the building was because there were,
They found dead
3
bodies.
bodies in the corner. It was a
I knew
crime
it.
scene. There was a, a decommissioned oil rig well in the back of the property. And plus, they removed all the light bulbs and all the electrical connections in the warehouse, even though you thought the power was off, and there was an oil refinery next door that they didn't tell you about. So it's
Yeah,
probably
anything could happen, right?
yeah,
Especially in Miami and
any-
especially on escrow Tuesdays.
Uh-huh.
absolutely.
That
All
is
right.
so
Well, thank
true.
you for that story. And yeah, I
Did
just,
you ever find out what the reason was?
yeah.
Um,
No?
no, I think that the owner was trying to sell it, and he probably knew that these conditions were happening prior,
Oh.
and it had, I don't know, it was just structural.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
not too sure.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there we go again. Here we
Yep.
go, Bowie. You ready?
Man, who are those folks? All right. Look at that. Just
Woohoo.
supporting that Miami stuff. Alan Chang is watching, the godfather of Aria there, and Danny King from Houston
Woohoo.
is with us.
Hello.
All these great people that are watching. All
So
right.
is that your owl, Bowie? Oh.
It's not, but guess where I am in that
Japan?
picture?
Japan at a cafe, no? Owl Cafe?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
What?
That's what it was, in Japan in an owl cafe.
Where else would you have a pettable
Oh,
owl
how
available to
cute.
you? No,
Oh, really?
New
the
Charles would know.
Japanese. Freaking crazy. No, I saw you were just
Wow.
globe-trotting around there in Asia. And, I want to ask you, there's a picture of you in KL and you're outside in an outdoor cafe. And I'm like, it's got to be 120 with 300% humidity there, right?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
mean,
yeah, it
it's
was
just,
hot that day.
just,
It was very hot.
yeah, I have no idea how people do it. And
It's like, I don't really want to go back, but it was hot.
it was hot, right? I mean, the Petronas Towers, everything is amazing, but you're like going, how do people do it here? It's like hot yoga 24/7. It's just
Yes.
amazing. All right. Well, there are reasons to be in Miami. There are many besides hanging out with Bowie. And as I found out in 2017, it's just an amazing place to be. And so we will start off with reason number one of why I moved to Miami, and that is no state income tax.
Nice.
I mean, isn't that why, Bowie, that like all the rich sports figures and everybody, resides in Miami or has an address, right?
Yeah, exactly. And now you see a lot of the companies are finally catching on, and they're all moving down here as well.
Right, yeah. And of course, folks, to save money on state income tax, you have to actually have income. You can't write everything off. So, that's kind of anyway. No, it is. Hey, that's a plus, right? Can't be there.
Right. And the low cost of living.
Really? I mean, I see everybody
Well, I
with
guess it
fancy
depends.
cars driving around.
Well, it depends on your lifestyle, right? So like
Right.
if you compare it to New York, Manhattan, I think according to like NerdWallet, I'd put in the calculator, and to have the same lifestyle here under with $100,000, you
Right.
have to make $221,000 there. So it's almost double to have the same, type of lifestyle.
Right. So basically, if you wanted to afford to buy a modest, decent home, maybe a starter home, but just a house, and have a car payment thrown in there, maybe, 3 or 4 grand of credit card debt, can I do that with about $100,000 worth of income and qualify? About
Um,
close.
to close on a house.
Well, yeah, because in Southern California, you've got to be, I think it's about 150,000 to afford the cheapest house you could ever find. That's without any debt or anything. So it's almost close to about 180 before you really can live in the city, So, and that's not a very good choice.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is there's different parts of Miami, right?
Right.
So, I mean, if you're living downtown, or you're living in a house in this like a little bit more west, I definitely think you can still with 100,000, because if you compare it to locals that live here,
Right.
there's not many that make above 100,000.
Okay,
You
well,
talk to people from LA and things like that, you guys, or
all right,
New
well, we
York.
know Ritu has joined us. I'm sure she makes well over $1 million.
Yeah.
And let's see, Liza from San Francisco is watching. Hi, Liza.
Hi,
Liza.
Hi,
So
too.
speaking of which is the lifestyle, right? Does everyone just not wear socks there and wear t-shirts under
Shorts and
blazers?
t-shirt.
Flip flops,
Yeah.
chancletas, no, but definitely the lifestyle here is uncomparable to anything else. We have the beaches, shopping, and you have, I guess, like lifestyle is different. You can go out and do anything in shorts, or you can go out and dress up. It's just very different.
Right. So if you basically show up at a listing appointment in shorts and a polo shirt, that's just how they roll in some cases.
I mean, if that's your market, right? Everyone has a market. So yeah, you'll have realtors that do that, and you'll
I
have
mean, I could
realtors
see
that
Donnie doing that, right? I mean,
I was just gonna
maybe
say
show
does
up
he
that.
at the
wear
beach,
anything
just
else? Yeah.
take your clients out, on the beach and just
Right,
have
right.
fun.
Then of course
So
you have the lifestyle, and then the lifestyle in the evening with entertainment.
yeah, so for this one we have, all your sports that I can think of, including hockey.
Hmm.
But we have
Yeah, that's amazing.
David Beckham's trying to get his stadium here
Oh, really?
with soccer. And then in
Oh.
the picture there, you actually have the American Airlines Arena, which is where the Heat play.
Right.
I was
Okay.
just gonna ask about what that was. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, is
And
that what we're looking at there? Yeah. Hey, I
yeah, with the
actually
airplane
do.
on the left,
Yeah,
the
I
dome.
actually do put, like traceable content to what we're talking about. So these are actually kind of
Good
Miami
job.
escapes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think when I was there was kind of like like some storm or hurricane blowing through, whatever. So we were all kind of stuck in the Four Seasons. I think, oh, we're stuck in the Four Seasons. But that was,
For us.
yeah. But this is something that I didn't realize. I guess when you have an influx of people and stuff, I mean, so tell us about how much of a tech hub that the Miami areas have become.
Yeah, so we are actually number 2 in the financial center, second to New York, of course. But as everyone's moving down and all the tech hubs are coming down, the Mayor Suarez, just recently announced that his planning to transform Miami to a tech innovation hub, and how he's actually embracing Bitcoin and crypto and climate change.
Wow.
So aside from all the companies moving down here, we have the government that's actually trying to work with everyone and be forward thinking. So that's what I love about Miami, is that there's a lot for the future, and it's always building. And that's why I like downtown Miami, is because that's where all the action is happening. And that's the picture on the right. Yeah.
Right. And I remember when I went to the GLS, there was a breakout session where you had the city folks, from the city, the building, the planning department, all that stuff. And that's where I got my Miami like palm tree badge. I don't know what happened to it. One of these days I'll find
Oh
it.
yeah,
But
same here.
but they were so like business friendly and forward to say, hey, if you got a business that you're bringing down here, we'll make it happen. You got a development. And they were just so like forward thinking. The airport was like, hey, we realize that if the airport doesn't keep up and expand with the business and influx coming, how are we going to handle all the freight going in and out? So they were really, it seemed to me, compared to some of the areas in California where they're very restrictive and almost in some cases, tough to deal with. And that's why a lot of businesses are leaving California, right, to Texas and Florida and beyond. It was refreshing to hear and see, and that was one of my favorite events there, even though it wasn't didn't involve too much wine or appetizers, and just information. It's good. Wow. Hey, we have a bonus, Nori.
Oh, we do. I wasn't ready for that one. We got the tropical weather.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
And I must say, Donnie said that it was a rainy day during GLS, not a hurricane. But you see, in California, when the wind is above 5 miles an hour and it sprinkles, we're on storm watch. So,
Yeah.
oh my God, we got a sprinkle. There's a cloud. Oh, storm watch.
Sandbags and all. So we got the tropical weather, huh, Bowie?
Yes.
Do you guys?
So my family's from Hong Kong actually. And we're on the other side of the globe. So if
Mhm.
you think, Hong Kong with all this real estate and how expensive it is to own something with this view, whereas here it's a fraction of the price. So it's great to be here, and I think that now people are starting to realize it and come down here.
Yeah, and they must be shocked at how, at least 3 years ago, how affordable it was. But has it changed? I mean, is that same condo on Brickell or whatever about the same price, or has it significantly moved up since like 2017?
So it's funny, but the condo market in terms of, Brickell and downtown, it's actually the pricing has stayed pretty much the same.
Right,
If you talk about single
Mm.
family homes, that's another story, right?
right.
It that has flown up, shot up. But there's still a lot of good opportunities for condos.
Okay. All right. Well, it's always good to know. Well, speaking of balmy weather, there is Bowie just having a good time. That yeah, that looks like pre-pandemic times, but
Yeah,
could
that
be
was
wrong.
way pre.
That's way pre, she
But
says.
Bowie, can you imagine that happening now? It's just hard to fathom a scene like that, even like 4 years from now, right? It's just we're so conditioned to like, distance. That would take like an entire, like 4 or 5 blocks just to have that in there. All right. Well, we have a special segment, Bowie. You're probably not aware of this, but we always have a kind of a learning segment here. So we've got a section called Friendly Psychology by Bowie. Oh, wait, I got to get that last name right, Narhee.
Oliveira.
Yeah, exactly. So, we didn't realize how much, knowledge you have in the psychology field, but of course, as all realtors do, we need to be psychologists, right? We need to figure out if the guy that walked into the open house, has a down payment or if he's a decision maker or whatever, so it is important. So are you ready? Are you ready? And let's just share your expertise and knowledge here, right?
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I love
So,
psychology.
me and Bowie were pouring over the slides last night, until 1 a.m. I kid you not. Per time.
Oh, wow, Bowie.
And we're trying to figure out, the psychology, explain to friends. Well, it's a true story. She actually sent me her top 5 at her one.
Yeah, I did. She's like, what are you doing up? I'm like, well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Donnie's the same thing. I call him like, oh shoot, I'm sorry, it's 2 a.m. for you. Don't worry about it. It's just the way it is. He spends more time on an airplane than anybody. Oh, Dick Lee says it's a balmy 56 in Beantown. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, Dick Lee. Oh, well.
That's
Unita Will is watching. Hi, Unita. All right,
Unita.
so let's get back to this. Who are your friends? And I think we've decided and determined that, especially in social media, they basically come to 3 categories. They're either friends, creeps, or strangers, right, Bowie?
Yes.
So we got friends in one corner there, and we've got creeps in one corner here. Hey, there's plenty of creeps online, right? And then we have strangers, and hey, who doesn't have strangers on social media, right?
Mhm.
You're like, oh, do I know this person? Like, well, anyway, so we have to kind of like then get it narrowed down and focused on who your friends are, right, Bowie? Bowie, how many friends do you have on social media?
I don't
Without
know.
even trying, you probably have 1,000, right?
Yeah, I think maybe 1,000.
Yeah. This year I haven't even met more than 20 friends, for the whole year of 2020, it seems like. So, all right. So that very, very top part there, between friends and creeps. Bowie, do you recall what we had in there? Right there in that area.
In the purple.
Yeah.
Friends
Wait, what?
and creeps. Purple area.
Yeah.
What would go there?
What would go there?
Yeah. Who would fall in the category of friends and creeps?
I don't know if I know like creeps because I just like.
Well, no,
like-
you don't know they're creeps is the thing. You don't realize they are, but we would call them stalkers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Those are friends that are kind of creeps, and that's just what it comes out to. All right, now there is another part where the intersection of creeps and strangers come in, right, Narhee? Yeah.
Yeah, stranger danger.
Yeah. Stranger danger.
I like that.
All right. So we would typically call a stranger that is a creep a criminal. Okay. I mean, that's pretty much what they are, right? Those are the people you want to avoid. Bowie's looking at this going, what the heck is all this junk that we've got put up here? But hey, this is, we have to, we have to make sense of all our friends on social media. They unfortunately do fall into most of these categories. All right. So then we have this other quadrant here. What color would that be? Orange?
Orange.
Okay.
Yep.
What would a friend and a stranger at the kind of same time to
An
you,
acquaintance.
An acquaintance. Okay, that could work.
Okay.
Narhee, what do you think?
I've initially said it was lovers.
Wow.
Potential lovers.
Well, that would probably be an FWB. Now, if no one knows what an FWB means, well, look it up.
What show is this?
Yeah, it is an FWB.
Anything happens. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yep.
But all right. However, the one that is probably the most coveted, that pretty much describes everybody, that you meet in social media, right in the middle, is, you may want to take a guess. What part of your social, not even social media, but everyone describes people that could be a friend, creep, or stranger all at the same time?
I don't know.
Well, it's right below our nose, and that would be obviously all our Facebook friends, right?
Oh.
All right, well, there you go.
Winner.
So now you know how to categorize all your friends on social media. Oh, wait, but hey, while you're pondering all that amazing information that we just presented to you by Bowie, hey, hit subscribe and like on our Facebook page, and of course our YouTube channel, which we're trying to, as many times we mentioned, Bowie, we're trying to monetize this thing. We're not doing this for free, and so we need about 1 million, subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And how are we doing so far after 30 episodes, Narhee?
We're about 1 million shy.
Yeah, 1 million shy. I don't even know if we have 30 subscribers, but after you're
I'm
done with the show, hit subscribe and help us continue to bring this amazing
First subscriber.
program.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, we're not even, we don't even have sponsors, because we don't want to be, sullied by, opinions and of the sponsor anyway. Hey,
you have to get them to like, so make sure you guys like it,
That's
subscribe,
right.
hit the bell notification.
That's right. Bowie knows it all, a former gamer and
I
stuff.
love to watch it.
Yeah. So what's this all about, Bowie? Have you been promoting this thing on your site?
Yes. Well, I don't know if I made a post yet about this yet. But Diversity and Fair Housing Summit, and it's April 28th to the 29th.
That's right. And we're going to talk a lot about issues this year. We're skipping the GLS and hopping right into this, and it's going to be amazing. There's even going to be like a museum kind of curated piece. It's going to be a lot of fun and unique.
We have a keynote speaker.
Wow. Right.
Yes, and the first 250 registers get a free book from the keynote speaker.
Right. And I hear there's some sort of sake kind of thing where you drink sake and watch, a Zoom. I mean, I could like that.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, thank you
Come
for
out with
pushing that.
your sake Kool-Aid.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, with CBD infused Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't realize this was on there. Well, this describes it all. Look at all this stuff going on. I mean, holy moly. What is going on?
We had our New Year celebration, Lunar
Right.
New Year's, and we had Miss USA Asia there. We also had, some celebrity guests. Cassie Skirbo was there, as well as all the others you see here. Fong was there, Dylan, and
Denver Dylan.
Kremen, which is he did magic on camera, which is pretty cool. How do you do that? Like you pick a card and do stuff, and it was cool. And then Dolly was there. It was a great time. We had an event with the North Miami Beach, City of North Miami Beach, the Chamber of Commerce, and so it was a very successful event. So we're happy to be a part of that.
Wow. And Denver Dylan, does he make any visits to Miami?
No, but I mean, I guess virtually you can do anything, right?
That's true. But hey, Denver Dylan, Aspen, we want that GLS there one of these days. I always keep bugging him about that. So, hey, Margaret Lynn, all the way from the East Bay chapter, Greater East Bay chapter is watching you. Man, you have so many friends and fans, Bowie. But anyway, hey, upcoming, I don't know how they could follow you this time around, but we've got, is this Facebook familiar, Bowie?
Yes, it's Esther.
Wow.
Esther?
Okay.
Esther Chow. She's from Hong Kong, right?
Indeed, right.
I saw her bio.
So your family is all from Hong Kong?
They are, yeah.
Okay.
I saw her, I think her installation.
You did. That's right. Wow. Two birds flock together. All right. We have Sherry from San Diego. Of course, you were at that. I believe you were at the. You were. I saw some badging. I believe when you went to the San Diego. Wait, were you there? Yes, you were there. I even have photos.
You could ask her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I have something to prove it.
He's getting to the bottom of his.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm kind of done here.
Okay, let's go.
All right, and then of course your
Julie.
kind of Floridian cohort over down there.
Yes, awesome.
You know, Julie and Christina, and you got a great group of people down in Florida, and you know, outside of California, which has a lot of chapters, it's great that Florida has a lot because everyone says that Florida is like a microcosm of the United States. You know, it's so diverse in culture and, you know, way of thinking and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And then I guess shameless plug while we're talking about Florida.
Well, we are all about shameless plugs, and so please go ahead.
Awesome. Well, we have a every other month, I believe, we have an education series, and we do it with all the Florida chapters. And so the next one is going to be on Thursday, March 18th from 12 to 1. And we're going to be talking about taxes and how you can prepare your taxes to help you with your real estate business. And all the information will be on our Instagram.
Right. And I'm sure the whole point of that show is move to Florida, I'll be a realtor, and suddenly your tax savings is at least 10% because you're not paying tax, right? That's the whole show. Thank you very much.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you are, you know.
Yes, this was actually in was it San Diego?
It was San Diego. See, I got
see, that was why.
And we've got Mr. Miami there, and you, and of course at my favorite restaurant. I don't know where that is, but very probably Miami rice.
Nice.
So funny. Well, hey, thanks for joining us and sharing. You know, it's tough to get to know you in 30 to 45 minutes, but we do our best. And got to thank Dick Lee for, you know, getting you to step up and at least influencing you. That's always a good influence, right? And being the chapter president of Miami. So you got your real estate thing going on. Why don't you plug yourself realtor wise?
Sure. So you guys can find me on Why Buy Miami on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Or you can visit whybuymiami.com. That'll be my webpage and has my contact info there. Or you could just find me on Facebook. Anytime you guys are coming, just hit me up. I think I met a few ARIA New Yorkers that came down. They drove all the way from New York and then all the way to Florida, all the way to Miami. We hung out.
Was Ace part of it?
No, it was Gloria, Carolina, and Monique.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's so cool.
Just getting on down there and driving. Well, let me tell you, if you've got anything in Miami, even close, Florida, whatever, you know, hit this girl up down here. She could take care of. She's got the experience and the network. Even if you're coming from out of state, she can take care of it, right, Bowie?
Yes,
and I imagine you have a lot of people coming in there. And if you have any escrows in Southern California or anything related like that, send them on over to Narhee. And if you've got anything in the Southern California area that you got questions on, whether it be residential or commercial real estate, I'd be more than glad to help. So anyway.
And then over to Charles.
Yeah. So again, thank you very much for joining us on Escrow Tuesdays. And Bowie, thanks again for gracing us with your presence. And
Thank you. I have
yeah.
one more thing to say, I guess, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anyone's looking for a new brokerage, you know, you can hit me up. If you're looking for a new brokerage, call me and join an EXP. Yeah.
Wow, EXP, what is that? I'm trying to think of.
I see that around everywhere, but I just, we're gonna have to call Bowie up.
Yeah.
All right, well, who wouldn't want to work with Bowie, especially in Miami? So, like I said, call up. All right. Hey, thank you very much for joining us for Tuesdays. Again, my name is Charles Swanberg and my co-host, Narhee Nguyen, and we had the great Bowie Oliveira. Wait, did I say that right?
Oliveira.
Oliveira. All right. Hey. All right. See you guys later. And thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. See you next week.
Thank you.